Hey guys, welcome to Video Game Corner. It's me, Jason, and I'm still alive. So it's been a while, but I'm back, and I'm back on track. So reason why I was gone, it's Christmas, and I have 3 kids to take care of, and we had to buy for Christmas and deal with Christmas and interact with Christmas, and being disabled, sometimes I get tired. So after Christmas, I took a break, and but now I'm feeling better. I'm back. So this is my vlog. What have I been up to? Well, I've been playing a ton of Demon's Souls and Dark Souls. I have beat both games, and I do want to go back a while ago before I had really gotten into either one. When I had just tried Demon's Souls, I said that the game doesn't seem to have much personality. I take that back. The game has tons of personality. It's just it's kind of veiled. It's under a veil of subtlety, is the way I would put it. You have to pay attention, and you have to think for you. The game makes you think for yourself. That's everything from the gameplay to the story. Everything makes you think. It doesn't hold your hand at all. But it creates these great communities, these Dark Souls and Demon's Souls communities, where you can actually go and talk and discuss why a character does this and that, because there is reasons for it that the developers put in, which is really cool. It's not just explained to you. The game doesn't hold your hand. That's what makes this game so cool. And you know what? I was thinking about the definition of an RPG. And I would say that this game is an RPG and it's not. And the reason why I say that it is because you do take on a role and you do customize your character. You do level up, in a way. You level up stats. But when you level up your stats, your character becomes something. Which you don't always get in a stat building system. Where it's better to always have like the overall stats built up every level, which is what you get in in your old turn-based RPGs. At the same time, it's not an RPG; it's more of an action-adventure game. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's just the label we put on it: RPG, not RPG, action-adventure, whatever. It doesn't really matter. The game is just awesome and addictive, and the beauty of it is the gameplay. The fact that it doesn't hold your hand. I don't know how many times I get frustrated when I start playing a game and I just want to play it, and again the game will pause just to tell me how to play it, and I already know. I've already done the move. And it's kind of frustrating. It's like, and they don't even have an option to turn it off. It's like, I shouldn't have to turn it off, just leave me alone. And I think gamers nowadays, they're so used to their hands being held that they just don't even notice these things. And it takes us older guys to say, hey, wait a minute, it wasn't always like that. There's nothing wrong with dying. That's the way this game is. You're allowed to, you die a lot because you're learning. And you can summon other players if you get stuck, and they'll help you. They're all about helping each other. One thing I don't like about the series is you got invaders. And that's other players come into the game, and they're basically, most of them, the whole point of I think the whole spirit of PvP, player versus player, to do this is to give people a chance to fight other players, and you can actually, test your skills. But these guys are so overpowered, and a lot of them hack, and they cheat, and by cheat I mean they get all these hacks that weren't in the game, and they have like no decency whatsoever. They just want your souls. They don't care about testing themselves. They just want to kill you, take your souls, and they think it's real funny, and they just get this big kick out of it. And it really sucks. All they're doing is tormenting other players who just want to learn how, and they're always attacking people who aren't very good at the game yet. Because and it sucks. It's not fun to me. And I think that, and they don't have to do that. I just think that I think people, if you want to play the game, have a level of decency. Like the other day, I'm fighting a knight. I'm fighting one of these really hard characters. I started a new character, and he was very weak. And I'm fighting a really hard enemy in the game. and this guy invades me while I'm doing it, and I got one hit left on this character. He runs up and backstabs me and kills me before I could kill. He knew that there's nothing I could do. I had to fight this other enemy. He runs up and backstabs me, and then he does one of these motions like this, where he puts his hands out, because you can do all these gestures. Like he actually did something. He didn't do anything. All he did was backstab me. And it's really sad that he thinks he actually accomplished something. Because if one of my other characters that I have built up, I would have actually been able to fight back. And this guy wouldn't have been able to just get one hit on me and kill me. I mean, I'm not the greatest player, but when I'm powered up, I can actually defend myself a little bit. Make him work for it. But this guy, he thought he was something special. It's really sad. Because he's probably like that in real life. He's probably one of those guys where he runs up, he hits someone from behind. He's like, yeah, I did a good job, didn't I? Oh, yeah. Friends are patting him on the back. He's probably some dumb kid. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's not real life. That's the thing. The video game is not real life. And if you go into there and act like a douchebag there, you're probably a douchebag in real life. I mean, not always. I mean, maybe you just look at it as video game to what's the big deal. But, you know, and I've had other guys who invade me and let me finish what I'm doing, and then they fight. Then they come and they fight me, as opposed to, you know, and they let me, you know, play the game. I had one guy I had a misunderstanding with. I was shooting a dragon, he comes in, and I'm like, I'm going to fight him, and I stop, you know, shooting the dragon, and he's like trying to let me know to kill the dragon, and he'll wait. And he ends up killing another enemy that was coming at me. He kills him, and I sent him a message and said thanks, and he's like, I was trying to let you play the dragon, but then you started attacking me. And I was like, I'm sorry, I get attacked by everybody. These guys are very cheap. And it's so, I mean, I guess, you know, it's a video game, so people say, oh, what's the morale? There's no morality in it, it's just a game. But it's like, you know, you don't have to be a jerk. These guys choose to do this. They choose to be douchebags in the game. You don't have to be. So, on the other hand, they have every right to do it to me. I have every right to call them a douchebag. So, anyway, it doesn't matter. But there's a lot of people that help you in the game, too. You can summon other players. And it's really fun when you do that. And if you get stuck on, like I got stuck on the final boss of Demon Souls. And there's a player I'd like to thank and give a shout out to is Skuntac. Skuntac. Thank you so much for saving my ass. And I'm sorry I took so long to put this video up, because I told him I put it up a few weeks ago, and he's actually subbed to the channel. So what I want you guys to do is say, Skuntac, thanks for saving Jason's ass. Okay, that's what I want you guys to put in the description, in the comment, not description, but the comments. So just say him thanks for me, and let's all give him a thanks and a round of applause, because I sucked at the time. I was playing the final boss of Demon Souls, King Allant, and some people say, oh, he's so easy, and I'm like, I kept getting my butt kicked. And because it was funny, because I'm playing against him, and he comes in, and Skuntac, he has the Dragon Bone Crusher. It's this huge sword. Huge. It's like twice as long as the height of the player, and it's like that thick, and it's just like it looks like a femur bone from a dragon that it's made out of. And it doesn't cut things, it just smashes them. But it's a big sword. And it's like the biggest weapon in the game, I think, in Demon Souls. And we go in there, and I summon him, and he helps me, because I had already killed the dragon and done everything in that level, where we just had to basically run through, go to the boss. And we had to fight a couple enemies on the way, and I had the great sword, because I love the heavy weapons, and he was actually, it looked like he was getting into trouble with some lower enemies. He got stuck between a couple of them. And this is that kind of game that even if you're really good and really powered up, you can get stuck in certain spots, and little stupid enemies will kill you just because there's enough of them. I don't know if he was really in trouble, but he looked like he was, so I came up from behind with my great sword, and I did an overhead double-handed attack and took out everything in one hit. But it misses him completely, so I wasn't worried about hitting him. So it's pretty cool. And I don't know if I helped him or saved him, but it was pretty good. I was glad to help. And so we went back and we go in and I think that was the fight. I did that at one. I could be thinking of another. I know it's the same area, but I think that's what I did with him. But anyway, he comes in, and so we go and we move along and we move to the next area. And I'm waiting and I'm getting ready to pull my bow and arrow on these things called, I think they're called ministers. They look like these big fat clown dudes with top hats, and they're really creepy. And they go huh, huh, when you kill them, and they throw fire and stuff. So I stand back and I shoot bow and arrow at them, because I just take my time with them. And he goes up there and just starts cutting them up. And I'm like, man, this sword he's got, this guy's really powered up. So we go up, we go around, we go up into the boss room, and he goes in there, and you're fighting King Allant. Old King Allant, the false king, as they call him. And he's the head bad dude in the game. And I go up, and King Allant does a slide move. And I dodge, and I turn around, I hit him in the back, and I back up. Okay, now Skuntac's in there, and he does like one hit or something, I think, to him. And I hadn't even looked at then of course his bars, the King Allant's power energy bar is across the screen. It's one of those like you see in like the AVGN videos where the bar goes outside of the screen, and you're like, oh my god. And it was one of those situations where his bars across the screen, because they're always across the screen, and you got to really work him over to break him down, kill him. So Skuntac goes in, and so King Allant gets ready he does this one move where he puts his sword on the ground, and he starts powering up. Now you can run up and hit him and break it. Now every time I've ever done that in a previous try of this battle, I run up, hit him, I break it, and I have no stamina left, so I can't do anything, and he hits me and kills me. So I'm like, okay, I don't have enough stamina to do that. So I back up, I get way back, Skuntac runs in, hits him, hits him once. I look down at the power bar, he's got like this much energy left, King Allant does, and then Skuntac hits him one more time, kills him, and I'm like, oh, he killed him and with my little tiny hit and Skuntac's 3 hits, King Allant's dead. And I don't think my little hit wasn't even needed. I know that. He could have hit him 3 times, and he kills him for me. And I was like, oh, cool. I was like pretty excited. I was pretty shocked because he's all powered up and just took him out for me. And I feel like I didn't. I'm going to play through the game again, and I want to beat the game as opposed to finishing the game. I want to go through and fight Allant, but I think I'm going to try a different type of build. I'm going to change it up a bit. I like the heavy weapons, but they're really hard against Allant because it's not that it gets him about heavy builds, but I think I'm going to try to build my character up better. I think I'm going to play through the game a second time, New Game Plus, and try to beat him then. And maybe do it by myself. Because usually when you get someone to help you, usually you guys are... You may or may not get it like someone who's really good, but usually you all have to like chip in to help. But this was one of those things where he's like, don't worry about it, I got it for you. So he kills him, and I'm like, whoa. And it was pretty cool. But I definitely thank you, Skuntac, for killing him, and... thank you for saving my ass, and everybody, if you could please put a comment in there saying, Skuntac, thank you for saving Jason's ass, I'd appreciate it. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, let's move on. Besides all that, I've been, like I said, I've been playing those games, and they're really fun. I'm excited for Dark Souls 2 coming out in March. I've decided I'm going to go ahead and get the collector's edition with the little statue. And the statue, I think, is of the hunter, warrior, not the hunter, but he's the warrior knight. And he's got like a bluish, greenish armor, and then he's got a fur, and then he's got like a mohawk style helmet on, and he looks really badass. And he looks like he's going to be the most popular, I think he's going to end up being the most popular character people pick. just because he looks so cool. Every time I've looked at, like, they did the network tests, I guess, at the end of last year, I think October, November, and people were going on for like 3-4 hours, I think it was 3 hours, actually, and everybody's picking the same, every time I see one of these videos they did, it's the same character, they all pick the same warrior guy. No, I didn't see anyone pick anyone else, and I was like, he's probably going to end up being the most popular, but he's so cool looking. Now, they showed 6 characters you could pick, and I'm thinking to myself, is there going to be more when they do the final game? Because I think they have more than 6 characters in the other games. Because the game is got so many different types of characters, and it's kind of cool because you can do all sorts of things with it. Like, I have a really cool character I'm proud of. I did a strength pyromancer build. So I built him up so he could do heavy swords, but he's also a heavy-duty pyromancer. I got just about everything I could get pyromancy-wise, so he throws some really cool fire attacks. But the thing is, fire attacks take time. But anyway, and they say that if you build your dexterity up to like 45, you get faster pyromancy, but I've also heard that's a myth. So, but anyway, other things for the show. Freddie and I went to the swap meet last Sunday, and we didn't find much of anything. It sucked. It must be the after Christmas thing. We're hoping we're going to be going either next week or the week after. We're going to hit some more swap meets. I did record last week. I haven't sat down and gone through the footage and edited it all and stuff. I wanted to start doing work on. I'll be working on that this week. We're going to start doing some more How Far Can You Get now that he's not working at Lowe's anymore. It's pretty much, there's not a whole lot going on. We're just working on, I'm starting to work on some other things. I'm working on watching my diet and everything to get my cholesterol dropped and everything. That's a whole nother thing. I'm trying to just work on bettering myself this year. I keep thinking about, they talk about New Year's resolutions and nobody ever follows them. And I think it's because people don't have realistic resolutions. So I've decided my resolutions are going to be simple. It's more of, I'm going to do the best I can with dropping my weight back down to where it was a couple years ago. And it's just trying to stay healthy, trying to exercise, just the best I can. I'm not going to just say I'm going to lose all the weight and be in super great shape. I'm just going to say I'm do the best I can. And it's going to be something I do focus on. I also want to keep learning how to do code because I do want to do a homebrew NES or Super NES game. Or even just a computer game. Just something simple. I want to at least do one simple game this year. Even if it's something I don't show to people, I want to be able to know I want to learn the basics of doing it. Because I have some cool ideas for some RPGs I'd like to do down the road for the NES or the Super NES. Or even the TurboGrafx. I would love to learn how to do code for that. And because the TurboGrafx is such an awesome system that people just forget about sometimes. And I think it's cool. I'd also like to, we're getting a new car, and my girlfriend and I, we're getting a new car in March-ish after the tax return comes in. Then we'll have enough money to work with. I'm also going to marry her this year because we've been putting it off just because of money. It's either money or we're just being lazy because we've lived together for since 2011. So it's almost 3 years now we've lived together. And you guys saw her in that one video. Her name's Desiree, and I spent a lot of time with my 2 kids and her kid. Her daughter lives with us. So and then I spend a lot of time with my 9-year-old, and then my 17-year-old. I spend as much time as I can. She actually comes over on Tuesday nights because I do a Tuesday night dinner with my daughters. And my 17-year-old doesn't always come, but lately she's been coming more often and hanging out. And she likes creepypastas, so we sit there and we listen to creepypastas, and I make dinner, and I get to actually see her because I don't get to see her as much. And she's such a good kid. Both of my kids are such good. All 3 kids are really good kids. And my older kid, you know, she wears black and does the whole emo thing, and I don't even care. I just don't care. Her mom, I know her mom, it bugs her mom, but I don't care. I just doesn't bother me. I figure it's either a phase or it's not, and if it's a phase, she'll grow out of it. If it's not, then that's who she's going to be, and I'm okay with it. She's a good kid, and she's really smart, and that's all I care about. She seems to have a really good head on her shoulders, and I feel confident in, you know, that her mom and I did something right over the years, and the rest of the family that helped raise her, grandparents and aunts and uncles and everybody. Everybody, you know, just did something right, and because, you know, you don't just always get raised by, you know, your parents. You get raised by your grandparents. Her great grandmother, she was very close to, who died a couple months ago, and I was really close to her. It's on my ex-wife's grandmother. And I was really close. I was closer to her than my ex-wife was, I think. And it really bugged me when she passed away a couple months ago. And I got to see her because when I had my heart, she was in the hospital with shingles for like a month before she passed. And it was one of those things that just took so much out. She was 84. And when I had my heart attack, that you guys remember my heart attack last year, and this is 30 miles away they had to send me. That happened to be the hospital she was in. And when I found out she was in the hospital, because my 9-year-old calls me and says that Grandma's there too. And I was like, really? And so I was able to actually, I told the nurses, and I found out what room she was in and where she was. And I said, can you ask the doctor if I can go see her? And the doctor gave me permission to go leave my area and walk down there and see her. And she was asleep. She hadn't been sleeping for days because of the pain, and she actually was asleep. And I didn't get a chance to talk to her, but I got a chance to see her, and I feel a lot better about it. That I just didn't, you know, that I didn't just see her, you know, normally, and then all of a sudden she's gone. That I did get to actually see her in the hospital. And it's funny because the nurses are coming in and they're like, are you a patient too? Because they see all the IVs and stuff hanging on. I said, yeah. I said, I had a heart attack, and I found out my grandmother's in here, and I got to actually see her. And they said, yeah, she's been in a lot of pain, but she's sleeping, and, you know, she's finally getting some sleep. And they were hoping for the best, but, you know, eventually it just took too much out of her. And it sucks because I really did love her like my own grandmother. And I found out from my ex-father-in-law and his sister, you know, she was telling. I talked to him at the funeral, and he says she really thought a lot of you, and it meant a lot to me. And then when I talked to his sister, my ex-wife's aunt, I was over there at her house helping her. I got my boat over there, and I was doing something and my dad had left some stuff over at Grandma's house because the aunt, she's going to be moving into the house because she lives up in the mountains and she wants to be closer to the family. And I was over there talking to her, and she said that Grandma thought of me as her own grandchild. I was family to her. And it means a lot because she was family to me. And I know and because my ex-wife's first husband was a real, you know, he wasn't around for. Actually, my 17-year-old's really his daughter. It's my stepdaughter. But when we got divorced in 2000 we broke up in 2007. I kept her as, I said, you know, she's still my daughter. I've been her dad since she was, you know, 6 years old. And for most of her life, 2/3 of her life. And she knows me as her dad. And she knows about him. She does see him now because he showed up a few years ago. But it's different, you know, when you see someone you didn't grow up with them, and she grew up with me, and so it's funny because, you know, you see these people. I just don't know how he could have done that. It makes me sad because I know it bothered her, but she's decided, and when she decided to give him a chance to try to get to know him, I kept my mouth shut because I know it's important to her. So if he does it again, then she'll understand. And I hope he does, and I hope he actually does the right thing this time. But we'll see. We'll see. But my 9-year-old is my blood child, and, you know, she's always had a good upbringing with my ex-wife and me. So, it's pretty good. But anyway, I don't want to keep rambling on about all this other stuff. There really is not much going on in my life, as you guys know, being disabled and stuck at home. Not a lot happens to me. This way my dad will call me. What's going on? I'll tell him. Then he'll call me like a day or two later. What's going on? Nothing. It's like nothing's changed. I don't have enough. You haven't given me enough time for something to happen, Dad. But I think he just gets bored and wants to talk, so he calls me. My dad's a real character. He's very gruff and rough sounding. Nicest guy in the world, but he's kind of a pain in the butt sometimes. But that's the way dads are, right? But my sister treats him like garbage, and he's in Las Vegas, and he's getting ready to get Social Security. He's 62, and he decided to get it early because he doesn't know, because my mom died 52, and he was like, you never know. He's just like, I'm going to get the money as soon as I can, and then he's going to work part-time. So I think he'll be happy with that. But, he's the nicest guy in the world. He's got, he gets angry really quick, and his views and our views aren't always the same. But, that happens a lot with the older and younger generation, and I don't let my anger control me as much as he does, and I'm just like, you need to have more control over your emotions, and he's like, rah, rah, rah. It's all bullshit, rah, rah, rah. He says he's really not as angry as he pretends he seems to be, but everybody's like, yeah, my 17-year-old, she says, Grandpa has a real anger problem. I said, well, he says it's not really. He says, I don't believe that. Nobody believes it. But it's just funny, families are funny like that. And then when they're gone, you're so mad at them when they're around, but then when they're gone, you miss them. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop it for now. Next, I'm going to get some more videos, more gaming videos out, and thanks for listening to me ramble on about just life and games and whatever else is going on with me. So, but anyway, guys, I'm going to keep making videos, and I'm going to keep working on, so I'm going to start working on repros again and stuff. But I'm thinking about finishing the tutorial on repro video setup. So, anyway, if anybody sent me any emails on the channel and I didn't respond, I'm sorry. Send them again, because some of them got mixed up and lost and deleted, and I'm not sure. I didn't mean to not respond to anybody. So please just, send them again. Ask your questions or comments or whatever. But anyway, remember, Skuntac, you saved my ass. Thank you. Everybody please thank him. Say thanks for saving Jason's ass, Skuntac. And I appreciate it. And everybody, and I also appreciate any other Dark Souls, Demon Souls players who have helped me. I really appreciate, especially like last night, I fought Ornstein and Smough in Dark Souls, and I didn't have enough humanities to keep going, and I would have had to have backtracked to another part of the game, and it would have been a pain. But this guy came in, and it was just the two of us, and we beat him, and it was pretty cool. So, anyway, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I guess you got to look it up or play the game. So, anyway, this is Video Game Corner. I'm Jason, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.